Hey punks, Chaotic here.
And you got Figured here in the producer chair.
Welcome to Beyond the Pit, the show where we talk about music, life, and mental health issues directly with artists, experts, and survivors. Joining us for today's edition of Beyond the Pit, we got Tommy Rogers and Ian Spurrett from Struck Down. Figured, give them the rook down.
Hey punks, just a reminder, you can find all this and all of our Beyond the Pit interviews on the official Rock Mental YouTube channel. Also, you can find them on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Music. Also, be sure to follow at Rock Mental Official on pretty much all of the social media platforms to get notified when the latest Beyond the Pit episode drops. Chaotic?
All right, let's get to it. Struck Down is a modern metal band hailing from Canterbury, UK. They have a powerful sound that gets your adrenaline pumping, just like Trivium, Gojira, and Killswitch Engage. Tommy is the band's drummer and one of the first members of Struck Down, and he lays down that rhythmic foundation. On guitar, Ian's roaring riffs and master picking gives Struck Down its unique sound. I'm so stoked to welcome Tommy Rogers and Ian Spurrett to Beyond the Pit. Hey, Tommy and Ian, I just want to thank you so much for joining us today. I'm so stoked.
Thank you. No, it really has to be here.
Yeah, no, cheers for having us, guys. Obviously, the audience don't know, but we've been chatting for about 20 minutes now, so we're all really friends already.
Yeah, for sure. No, man. Hey, like I said before, I mean, you guys kick so much ass. It's just crazy. And like one of the first things I noticed when I listened to you guys is just how clean and precise and just how like everything lines up so perfectly in all your songs. So, man, I'm such a fan. This is so cool.
Thank you. No, that's I'm sure our guitarist Pete, who is basically our producer at this point, will really appreciate that because he helps keep us all like clean and on point. Everything you've just said. We're all very capable musicians, but thank you, Pete.
Yeah, no, it's a massive thank you to Pete. He really has put in the work. More so with the guitars and the stuff that I'm up to, but he's become very good at like learning what I'm like as a drummer and being able to write in the same style that I write in. So whenever we get demos or anything like that across, there's already like a shell of stuff that I can work with. So yeah, big shout out to Pete because he's not here.
Hey,
you've got us two instead.
Thanks, Pete, for everything. Because man, you guys, it's so awesome when I hear a band and I'm like, wait, is that the new Gojira? Wait, is that the new to start? Wait, what's going on? And then like, wait, where are these guys? Like, and it's so cool to like just hear that music and hear it roaring through my headphones and just like, wow, I gotta figure out. Well, we can just start off at the beginning. Like, how did Struck Down come together? How did you guys get together and start playing and like, talk about that evolution up until now? Because you guys been around for a while, right?
Yeah, I'll start it because Em and Tommy will know when I finish where to pick up from. Because ironically, neither Tommy or I are original members of Struck Down. Struck Down, I think, has been going since about, like early 20-teens. I can't remember an exact date, but Lyndon, our vocalist, is the only original member left. And yeah, Tommy joined. He'll tell you when. I can't remember when I joined, 2015 maybe, but Tommy joined a year before I did, and we were in another band together. I was playing bass in that band, and then they were looking for a guitarist, a rhythm guitarist, and so I joined, and yeah, me and Tommy have been in it ever since. But yeah, it's been going a long time. The band's changed. Like it used to be like a blues rock sort of like a Black Stone Cherry sort of vibe.
Okay.
And it's morphed into what it is now. And that's just because new members, we've grown up as well. And yeah, I think that's... So yeah, that's been going a long time.
Yeah, I think 2014 might be when I've joined. It's so long ago now. So long.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Ian was saying, it was a lot more blues rock. It was... Well, ultimately, it was a blues rock. Sort of like glam rock, that kind of vibe. And then... When I joined after being in the same band as Ian, we were very much, it was just a metalcore band. It was very much a metalcore band, bit of thrashy elements to it. And then I just joined Struck Down, honestly, for a bit of fun. Brought my sort of metal influence as a drummer over. And it's just slowly throughout the years, just kind of morphed into what it is now. So I'd like to say with what we've got now, it kind of feels like we've only just kind of started coming into our own. And it's weird to say with a band that's 12 years old, potentially even longer. But it only just feels like that the era of Struck Down has kind of started in the last couple of years more than anything else.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like, play. I think that's another consistent theme with metal bands. Like, you've played with so many people and so many connections. And I play with that bassist and I play with that drummer. It's kind of cool how, after a couple of, I guess, iterations of bands, you finally find, I guess, like a home, if you will, for that band. That okay, this is something cool.
Yeah, I mean, we're incredibly blessed in the local scene in Kent, which is the county we live in, that we have so many fantastic musicians who have, either, not all of them, but they have been in Struck Down, or they've filled in for Struck Down when some of us can't make the gig. We've been so lucky just to have so many cool players, and with every new member. It sounds like we've gone for lots of members, but with every member that has come into the band, it's brought something else on board. But there's always been like a shared sort of bedrock of like rock, metal, Pantera, Machine Head Gojira, that sort of thing. And then we all have our own sort of, I guess, separate genres, which we all really enjoy for certain reasons. I'm still a metalcore kid at heart. I'm still an emo kid at heart. And, Tommy, as I'm sure he'll say, he'll tell you what he is. But yeah, we've got such a broad taste and we make it work in Struck Down somehow.
Yeah, like you should see some of the writing sessions. They can be quite intense where we're trying to, I don't want to say pigeonhole because it's not the correct sort of like terminology for it, but trying to get everybody's influences crammed into 4.5 minutes worth of music.
Yeah.
I think it really does make the songs what they are. Because it's not super often where we'll have a song where we just go within one session, bang, 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 done. We always revisit and we're always adapting. Like even up to the point of where we were releasing our latest single, One Last Drag, even up to the last sort of 2-3 hours before we physically had to get it uploaded so it'd turn up on Spotify at the correct time. We were still making these subtle changes, like, should there be like a hi-hat here? Should there be a different cymbal here? Like, is the bass the correct tone? Should it be? So it's always just constantly just kind of ticking over, just all these little micro changes, making our sound what it is. It's just really cool, really fun.
For sure. And, you talk like about your influences. And I think on the show, I mentioned like, it was kind of hard to like say like you're metalcore, but no, you're more like melodic, but no, you're more like, it's hard because, but then now that you say it, it's interesting because it's like, yeah, on the guitar side, I do hear a lot of Machine Head, but then like on the drum side, I hear a lot of like Bullet for My Valentine, like the double bass pedal stuff. And then like, Lyndon on the vocals, I hear a lot of like Disturbed and some of like the more haunting lower register stuff. So that's interesting to hear that because I mean, from the fans perspective, I hear all of it. So like, talk a little bit more about like those influences, like what sounds do you draw from and like how do you sort of morph that into your own?
I guess now is a good time to say that like the new single, which I'm sure we'll talk about briefly, because it came out today. When we wrote that, me, Pete, and Tommy wrote that around Pete's, and it was basically like, this is so metalcore, the boys will never go for it. And funnily enough, it's become the first single that we have released this year. But yeah, it's like, I mean, influences like, yeah, I said like, I'm a metalcore kid at heart. So like, we saw Trivium and Bullet beginning of this year because they've been doing their not so much world tour now. And, that was just like all my childhood, like all my teenagehood, like wrapped up in everything I wanted. And it's Pete has a big metalcore influence. Like he really likes like Children of Bodom and Silosis, and he likes Trivium as well. And he's more into modern metalcore like Bleed From Within as well, and he likes Gojira. And so especially when Pete and like when we're writing together, there's definitely a shared sort of influence, as it were. So we're writing the same thing. But sometimes, like if you back some of our older stuff, like Charisman, which is on our From Demons EP, that's got like these big like picked chordy patterns. That's me, because I love that sort of, where every tone drops and everything's like super chill and it's like super ambient and like instrumental stuff. Like I love that as well. So it's
definitely correct in thinking that if it was a Venn diagram, you've kind of got the modern metalcore, which is a crossover where we all cross into. It's more for me. I'm more into like the sort of gentler prog kind of side of things. Throwing a little bit of hardcore, throwing a little bit of more classic thrash. So bands like Between the Buried and Me and Porcupine Tree are huge influence on stuff that I do. But you've also got Silosis, which literally my favorite band in the entire universe. You've got your Gojira's as well, Periphery. Like it's just absolutely all encompassing. And then like Ian was saying, Lyndon is way more into the sort of like sludgier sort of side of things, so like Raging Speedhorn, and you've got like your Panteras and that sort of stuff. And Will, the bassist, he's really into grunge, like hugely into grunge. So it all just kind of, like I said earlier, just kind of like molds into this absolute mess that somehow works sonically, and we just keep trucking along, making it happen.
It works, man. It works, and it's so nuanced, but at the same time it just goes. And like it's so cool because like what I like to do is, like, I guess whenever I hear a song I have to hear like 17 times because I want to like make sure, I want to get the whole gist. And so I like isolate the vocals, and I'm like listening to Lyndon, like exactly how you said, like that exactly what it sounds like. And then I'll isolate the guitars. I'm like, okay, let me hear the picking, let me hear the riffs, let me see what's going on. And then I'll isolate the drums, and like, man, that double bass pedal is just bam, like right there. And so like all the good stuff from metalcore, and wow, like so like hearing you guys talk about, like, I like your Venn diagram description because that's a lot what it comes out like. So like what sort of like, where do you start? Like who says, hey, I have a riff, or you know what, I got a beat, like what starts it?
You're spot on. It is generally with the way Struckdown's always written, which is like I have a riff. I think only maybe once in our career we said, like Lyndon said, I've got a drum beat in mind, and that became a quite a cool song as well. But yeah, it's like it's a riff. It's always a riff. Or Lyndon likes to do this thing where he's like, I hear this world-ending riff in my head, and he vocalizes it a cappella style to us. And Pete's actually got really good at interpreting that and putting it on into guitar noises. But yeah, it's like, start of a riff, and it's like, we'll write around Pete's, or he'll have a basis of a riff or a demo, and we'll go around and we'll work on it together, and we'll just build it. And like, right, that's for verse, that's for chorus, that's for breakdown, that's where we'll put a solo, and then we just bit by bit add to it. Once we know we want to do something with it, like say the new single. It's like, right, well, Tommy will program his drums. Pete record the guitars. I'll record my guitar bits. We'll get the bass recorded. Then he'll come and do his vocals. Pete will mix and master it. And it's a process. And I think we've got quite good at it now because we've been working on this album for a little while at least. Like middle of last year, we've just been smashing it. To get, because we had like 50 demos and we had to pick 10. So,
wow.
It was, but members, you have to be democratic about it. What's your favorite? What's my favorite? What's your top 10? Pete will arrange it in an Excel spreadsheet, and music is formed, and it's beautiful. Like it's. I don't know if Tommy would agree, but it is easy. I find it easy because we're like-minded, and we're also grown-ups, which helps sometimes.
Yeah, it's gotten easier and easier, hasn't it? Like even to the point now where we trust each other so much that if we don't like something, it will just come out as I don't like that, and it is be as straight as that because we know that it's for the betterment of actually what we're writing. Even to the point where they let me have a guitar and I can write riffs as well and come up with cool ideas. And so it's so much a shared thing, but we can be quite brutal with each other, just like, I really don't think that works, or like I don't want to say that there's not arguments. Like there's healthy debates about where a song should go next and why. And yeah, like I said earlier on, the different iterations that we're doing and always sort of micro analyzing everything and making sure that everything sonically feels correct. But more importantly, that the message of the song gets across as it's intended. You know, there's songs which will be more sort of just in your face and really, really heavy, like One Last Drag, for example. The verses and the breakdown, they're meant to punch really, really hard. But Our Decline, with even its heavier bits, you've still got the outro section, which is just all about the ambience and just drawing that listener further and further and deeper into the track. And it's those sort of sections that I'd absolutely live for. I absolutely love the ambience and where a song can go, but I think that's just like the prog lover in me. I just want a song just to carry on forever. If it can, then great. I don't like it just to be cut off because it feels like it needs to be cut off. Like if it feels like it can carry on going, then why are we going to cut a song? Like let's just draw it out until it gets to a natural conclusion. But yeah, like it's tough to do that, let alone come in with all these different ideas. And like Ian said, 50 demos plus we were at one point, and try to be democratic about it and trying to make sure that we're literally picking all the cherries out of the basket, as it were. It took us a while. It took us a while to write them all, but it took us, you know, a solid month and a half just to pick the tracks, didn't it?
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. I mean, I gotta say that's the outro in Our Decline is probably one of my favorite parts too. It's so cool you said that because yeah, like you had that breakdown, you got that solo, you know, you repeat that chorus, and then all of a sudden, and then that more melodic, more, you know, sort of drawn out part was so cool because like yeah, you're just like okay, like all right, like it's finishing with not a bang but like a finesse almost of like okay, this is like a journey almost, like okay, I'm like coming down from that awesomeness I just heard, but it's so cool, so well put together, and like just hearing you guys talk about it is so awesome. And yeah, no, and like the music making process, I mean, we talked to a lot of bands and it's just like, you know, how it goes from there. And I think one of the biggest things, especially for a band that's been around as long as you guys have been, is just like kind of like how you alluded to, like check the egos at the door. Like let's make some kick-ass music, talk about what goes into it. You know, it's not a you know, who gets to throw the weight around. Like let's really focus on, you know, how do we kick some ass, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. You sort of check the egos at the door. The band always comes first. You know, within reason. Like, you know, we've only ever cancelled one gig, and that's because one of our respective other halves had to, you know, our band member had to be with our other half, and we've always made a point of that. But the band we've always made it work. Because it's something we really want to do. Otherwise, you know, I guess otherwise maybe if you're not willing to, you know, put the band first, sometimes, you know, maybe like it's not the right project for you. But yeah, check the egos at the door. You know, we are technically a business. You know, we each a director. You know, we each have an equal say. No one you know, everything's a democratic vote. You know, if it's 3 to 5, well, that's where we're going to go. So yeah, it's just want to go back to what you said about Our Decline, like where it kind of like there's a fake out and then like it comes back in with that melodic outro bit. I didn't know the boys included that until I got the final like mix and master. And I was like, this is just like the best. And we played it live for the first time recently, and it was just like a stormer. We're playing it again tomorrow because we're gigging tomorrow. So looking forward to like that's gonna be my that is my new favorite bit of the set now. Like without doubt. So thank you about Our Decline. It's like we're really proud of it.
Oh yeah, insanely. It's definitely my favorite track that we've ever written, 100%. And yeah, that just comes from the fact that we do just leave egos very much at the door. You know, a solid 3/4 of it was Pete. For the majority of it, even up to the drums, to be honest. Like he wrote almost all of it, and I just added my flares here and there. When it came to the ambient section, I remember I was listening to the newest Silosis album, specifically Godless Throne, the outro track. And there's again another sort of ambient section in that. And I just messaged Pete one day and I just went, you know what this track needs to finish it all off? It's just this kind of style. And within the next 45 minutes, he was like, how's this? And he just had this thing mapped out and was just ready to go. Like he got the assignment so straight away. He could hear or just sort of sense what I was trying to go for. And he just went, how's this? I was like, yeah, you kind of just nailed that on the head, man. But yeah, from an ego standing, like we've all got people that we ask if we can't personally make a gig. We've got really talented people, really talented friends that will stand in for us, and because they enjoy playing a struck down show as much as we do, just because of the energy we bring. So they're more than happy to kind of jump in and just learn the stuff and come and play a show. And you know, if life sometimes gets in the way, it's just, you know, about being an adult. But the brand and the band that is struck down always comes first above anybody else.
That's awesome, man. It's so cool, and like you can just tell, like, you know, for a metal band that looks like, you know, especially with some of the videos you guys put on social media, that there's a professional side of putting this music together. And you know, it's hard sometimes. You know, you see us, you know, metal heads with these, you know, crazy shirts and, like, you know, mosh pitting and stuff like that, but when it comes to the music, you got to be serious about it. And I gotta say, with your latest single that just dropped today, One Last Drag, man, it just comes out. Talk about that song. Like, I got my own sort of like idea of what it's about, but I want to hear from you guys. Like, what's the song about? What are you hoping to connect with fans? Like, what's the message sort of behind that song?
It very much shapes its way around mental health again, but from a perspective of just being told to get on with things and not moan about anything. And just, you know, the two lines that always stick out is, you know, have you tried smiling, or simply denying, and ignorance is bliss, and all of these sort of like key catchphrase buzzwords that are thrown out to people that are really struggling. And anytime you hear them, you just want to, like, I don't know how violent you can get on this, but you know what I'm trying to say. Like, it's not helpful advice. It's not helpful to anyone to hear it, and it just comes from a level of ignorance. So it's just a big shout to anyone that's like that, just to, you know, shut up basically, and either give proper advice or don't get involved whatsoever. Yeah, just about losing yourself really, and not having to rely on like other people that just aren't worth relying on.
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah, man. And I mean, I think you hit it right on the spot. I mean, we talk about mental health. Obviously, it's a huge component of what we do at Rock Mental. And so, yeah, like we've talked about some of those hollow sentiments that people come out like, you know, you just need to smile. You just need to focus on the positive, you know? You know, and it's like, you don't know what the hell you're talking about, you know? And it's like, it's disheartening, because a lot of times it comes from people who, you know, you've grown close to and, you know, have a connection with, but then it just kind of like comes off so disingenuous of their understanding of what mental health really is. And so definitely got those themes. Even like that, you know, it could always be worse, right? I know that, I think that was part of the chorus. Like, well, it's still pretty fucking bad. Like, yeah, it could be worse, but it's still not sunshine and roses. Like, it still sucks. Depression sucks. Anxiety sucks. It's really bad. And so, like, definitely I get all those themes, and you do get a sense of, fuck that. Like, I'm not gonna just smile to make you comfortable. Like, I need to express myself. So that message definitely runs through, man. And you know, it's so awesome to hear that message come from you guys, because there are a lot of people out there struggling. There's a lot of people who, you know, are having a hard time right now, both, you know, mentally in their own, you know, in their own heads, or just, you know, involved in toxic relationships, toxic work environments, things that are just, you know, not going well for them. You know, so kind of talk about that. Like, what do you feel your role in this, you know, metal world or music world? You know, what do you feel your role is in helping with that?
God, it really makes me look at One Last Drag a bit differently now. Like, I pick up on the lines, but I never interpret the feeling like at the time. What can we do? We can do what we can. Like, when someone like checks us out, like, or discovers us, like you did on Spotify, or like when someone sees us at a show, and we're maybe not we're not throwing it in people's faces that a lot of our music is about mental health. All of us have struggled to varying degrees with it. That we can just be a connection. We can blast. We play half-hour sets. We can help you blast steam for half an hour. We can help you blast steam for 3.5 minutes. There's a solace in, I think, relating to a song so strongly. It's like, I'm not alone. And sometimes you really do feel like you're the only person in the world who gets how you're feeling. But no, if you ever check out Struck Down, there's 5 guys or wherever here in the UK who get how you feel. We've all been there. So we can just play our part. But the important thing is to do seek, I don't know if it translates in our songs, but do seek help, do talk to people, because, geez, you've got to, because it's just, you just got to. And preaching to the choir, I'm not good at talking to people about it, but you got to talk to people. And good friends, like Tommy was always there for me when I need him. It has always been. So, and Tommy, despite being only a few years younger than me, is so grown up and so mature. He offers me wisdom and advice way beyond his years. And we're there for you. Come and see us after a set. Reach out to us. We get it. We understand.
Yeah, it's just about being that voice when someone can't have a voice for themselves. With situations like this, it's difficult in the moment to be able to tell someone just to back off and just leave it be. And we, as 5, men, we're 5 men, right? Like, it's still difficult for men to talk about their feelings. And if we can get up on stage and look like the way we do and play this aggressive music, but still have these huge, deeper meanings that, we don't want people to have to struggle to read into it. A lot of Lyndon's lyrics are very much to the point. There's a layer of metaphor in there, but if you read it through enough, you can pick up on it quite quickly. We just want to be that voice for everyone. We've always prided ourselves of being this approachable band. We don't want to put up too many walls that make it feel like that we're untouchable. We're just normal people, just out there having a blast. And if that means that we're approachable and you want to come to us with any problems that you may have, or feel like that we could offer advice where others have failed, then we want to be that sort of open space. It doesn't have to be personal. It can be in a community that we're building. It can be behind the scenes. It can just be a message to any one of us, or we want our fans to be the same people as us. So it's just about having that community and making sure that we're all looking out for each other at the same time.
Oh yeah. Hell yeah, man. And I'm glad you brought that up, especially us men. It's a lot of, societal norms that tell us that we're not supposed to talk about our feelings. And there's a lot of other pressures that come. We've talked to a number of bands and artists, from the UK, and it's just alarming how high the suicide rate is, especially with men, particularly in men. I think there was a stat that suicide is the number 1 killer of men under the age of 50. I think in the UK, and I think in the United States and Canada as well. That's alarming. That's insane. That needs to change. And so that's why we're here at Rock Mental, to talk about this stuff, just to say it's okay to talk about it, and let's use the music that we love and listen to all the time, and channel our aggression, channel our fears, our insecurities, our anxieties, let's get it out. And so that's why we started our mosh pit mentality movement. It's, first rule of the mosh pit, right? Someone falls down, you pick them up. And so we're trying to instill that same thing in society, right? You see someone fall to depression, to addiction, to burnout, anxiety, whatever. It's on all of us to pick them up, dust them off, make sure they're okay. And so what you guys are doing and what you guys are talking about is just so in line with that. And so we thank you for your advocacy. Thank you for including that in your music and, being there for fans.
Oh, no, and likewise, thank you for what you're doing. It's, Tommy was saying, you should be able to, reach out to any of us. And I'm sure people have or will reach out to you, as your movement grows. And yeah, it's like, every time I've seen a Trivium show, Matt Heafy's always like, if someone falls down, pick them back up. That's exactly what it's about. And yeah, it's amazing, if just how often as men, especially, like, or just not just men, but everyone, like when someone drops you a message and be like, "How you doing?" and you just go, "I'm fine," and that's so easy just to brush off. But actually, sometimes the dam can break just from "How are you doing?" And yeah. So I think it's really important we ask those questions. They're very difficult questions and difficult conversations to have. But yeah, important.
Yeah, definitely. Like the idea of just checking in on your friends on a regular basis, like having these important conversations, because as much as we're men and we struggle, we do happen to just make friendships on a very base level, and just like, oh cool, he likes beer and he likes metal, he's my best friend for life now. But it's so important for us to dive deeper into everything else. And it's that easy just to make friends with other guys sometimes, and like the deeper connections are often alluded to without it's down to the modern societal pressures all the time. Like, I shouldn't be talking about this, it's unmasculine of me to talk about this, it's I shouldn't be crying, I should just get up and graft my life away, and it just needs to stop. Something needs to give. And I'm hoping that with bands like ourselves and movements like yours, that we're making cracks in the foundation of what this should be, and what it should collapse into is just everybody looking out for each other, really.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, and we'll get there. We will get there. That's what this platform's for. And I think particularly with the metal community, there's a connection. There's already people, as crazy as a mosh pit looks. I mean, that's what we're there for, a connection. I think these connections will definitely serve as a lifeline for struggling with real shit, and are ready and want to, whenever, hopefully that one person that ends up at a struck down show, is able to get it out, let out that, the depression, let out that anger, the hate, the hurt, the trauma, whatever, get it out and feel good afterward. That's kind of what we're hoping to do, with our community.
Yeah, same. Yeah, same. I think if anyone came up to us or messaged us and said, your music helped me, thank you, it'd be like, that's it. We can stop now if we want. We've done our job. You can't beat that feeling. It's yeah, it's just that's what we're definitely not in this for the money. Not yet, anyway. We are here to try. We're making an impact. No matter what happens. If the world goes tits up tomorrow and everyone's gone and aliens find us, they discover Spotify and discover Struck Down. It's like that's our impact. That's the mark we've left, and it'll always be there until technology fails us, which I'm sure it will one day. But we made our impact, and so even if Struck Down doesn't work out and we do something else, we start another band or whatever, like the Struck Down music will always be there, and someone can always discover it and be empowered by it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's the biggest compliment you can get, right? Is your music helped me, or your music saved me, or like that's genuinely the biggest compliment that you can hear from another human being. And like Ian said, if that is the case, then that's a huge tick. That's basically what it's all about. And if we've managed that, then I think no matter where Struck Down ends up or what happens in the future, as long as it's one person that we've saved, then I think it's all worth it in the end.
Cool, man. Hey, well, speaking of shows, I know you all have some gigs coming up. You have a huge show. You guys got added to the Hammer Down Festival in July. That is fucking cool. What else is coming up, man? What other things are you guys cooking up? What other stuff? I know you just came out with a new single. What's next?
I think so. We have a gig tomorrow, which is really cool. It's a place called Bromsgrove, which is outside Birmingham, the home birthplace of Black Sabbath.
Nice.
So that'll be cool. That's a festival slot. We're playing the second stage about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, which is really cool. So we'll drive up tomorrow morning and do that. And then we're supporting a Metallica tribute band, which is always guaranteed to be a good show because it's like-minded metalheads. And then we've got the Hammer Down gig, and then I think after that we've got our big show of the year, which is in Canterbury, where we're based. There's a pub, I guess I could call it. It's a little bit of everything. It's called the Penny Theatre, and we do a show there every year. It's always a great show. We've sold it out before. We will sell it out again. That is our guarantee. And that's going to be a wicked night with some really great bands. Nuns of the Tundra, who we've already mentioned, and Desire Lines, who are friends of ours. So that's going to be a great show. And then it's just really ramping up with the singles coming out and then the album. It's really, putting ourselves forward for next year as well. And we want Metal to the Masses. We played Bloodstock on our new Blood stage in 21. We want to return to Bloodstock on another stage. We want to play those bigger shows. We want to play the small, medium-sized festivals and work our way up the UK ladder. It's a grind. It will be. We know that, but it's already bearing fruit. Like what we as a team have been doing to get this far. So it's just going to be more shows, more music, more TikToks. More reaching new people, more helping new people. It's just more. It's just growing. It's a snowball effect.
Yeah, definitely. I wish we could say that we were more prepared for the sudden sort of tiny amount of fame that we've gained on social media. But honestly, it's caught us completely unawares. We've been planning this album for ages anyway, and the idea has always been drop a few singles, drop the album towards the end of the year. But we've got so many people that are come and play this side of the country, come and play that side of the country, come and play the US, come and play Belgium, come and play Finland, come and play all over Europe. And we're just there I don't know, Matt, I don't even know where my passport is. We can't go and tour this place yet. Logistically, we're still catching up with what we've gained. So I wish we could say that there was a lot more cool shows and stuff that we got planned. And the shows that we do have planned ultimately are really, really cool. But this is literally just the beginning of what is hopefully a really, really fruitful couple of years for us. Especially with the album, which again is completely mental health based, which is just really works for why we're here, really. But we just can't wait to feels like step one. I know that we're nearly halfway through the year, but this feels like step one of our year, and the rest of it is still to come. So watch this space. As much as it's a trope for a local band to say, watch this space, because there's a lot to come.
Hell yeah,
big things coming soon. That's what they always say.
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah, man. I mean, you guys, your music kicks ass. You some of the coolest dudes we've talked to. I mean, and you're in it for the right reasons, man. This is from what it sounds like, you're a band's band. You get it. You from the music side, from the touring side, from the gigging side. That's how it should be. And so so awesome. And I guess for those of us, if you happen to make your way to the U.S., just saying you're gonna have some fans up there from Rock Mental moshing it up. Well, I'll do my stretches first. I've been moshed in a few about a decade or so, but. We'll definitely be out there and supporting you guys. But for any of those people who have never been to a Struck Down show, what can they expect?
Oof, what can they expect? Oh man, it's especially our 30-minute set, which we've built, which will be our set for the rest of the year, barring the Penny show, because that'll be a longer set. But it's half an hour or 27 minutes of just it's tight. There's an intro track to hype you up, and then it slams in with Wither and Buckle, and then it's a great song. And then it's apart from Our Decline, which I say Our Decline, it drops energy. It doesn't really. It's all mood, and then it's just full balls to the wall for half an hour, and to leave an impression. We want people who are walking by, be like, oh, who are they? and it's just going to be 5 guys who are, up there doing what they love. If you see a band up there and they look bored, you're not going to enjoy them. But we're going to be up there having the time of our life, giving it our all for half an hour before we, kind of fall off stage afterwards because we're exhausted. Because we're all in our 30s now, we can't do it anymore. No, we're going to be enjoying ourselves, and hopefully you're going to pick up on that. So believe me, we'd love to come to Texas as well. It's on the cards. Don't worry. We just need to figure out how we'd even do it. And Lyndon needs a passport.
And I need to find mine. But from a more physical point of view, because I think Ian's nailed it on the head from a vibe point of view. The expectation will be, if there's something that Lyndon can climb, he will climb it. If there's a stable platform, for any of the string boys to stand on that isn't the stage, it will be stood on. And ultimately, you'll be looking at the stage with just a drummer on it before too long, because we don't really like stages too much. Everyone just wanders off. So keep your head on the 360, because there could be a band member behind you before you know it. So it's all about energy. It's literally all about energy. Just having fun. You'll see us laughing on stage for ridiculous reasons. Even if it's like a mistake's happened or something like that, we'll catch each other's eyes and just start absolutely giggling away because it's just ridiculous. Like, you've put 5 idiots on the stage and you've expected them to play music. What do you think's going to happen? Like, it's just going to be chaos.
That's awesome.
But we absolutely love it, and we want the audience to feel exactly the same. So it's all about having fun.
We played a gig locally a couple of weeks ago, and Our Decline was the second to last track. And the click track we have in our ears, I don't know if we noticed until it had finished. It died. The click just went away.
Oh, jeez.
But Tommy freestyled it and kept us in time, like, perfectly. It all synced up lovingly. And then it's like, well, the click track's died. We've got one more track to play. And I was like, Tommy, just freestyle it. And it was like, we did it years ago when we didn't have a click track. And someone noticed afterwards, like a friend and a fan of ours, and she's like, I noticed what happened, but you guys just went all along with it, and I loved that. So it's like, great, we've done our job. We had fun. You saw that. We didn't freak out like we would have done years ago.
Yeah.
No, we just rolled with it, keep on going. It won't happen tomorrow. Definitely
there you go.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, gotta have the clicks. That's cool. No, hey, that sounds awesome, man. And I mean, Lyndon looks like he's not a small person. He looks like he's a pretty large dude.
No, Tommy's tallest, I think.
Oh, really?
And maybe Pete. Well, I think Tommy's definitely the tallest.
I am tallest.
We have to look at our photos. Yeah, you are tallest.
Oh, okay. Because I mean,
Lyndon is broad.
Lyndon
is a bear.
Big
guy.
Big boy. You don't want him charging you, that's for sure. No, not at all.
So him climbing the rafters could be a sight to see.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
He's incredibly nimble. Nimble. He'll just disappear, and you'll be like, "What? Oh, he's there. He's gone." Just
that's amazing.
That's awesome. Hey, so we'll tell fans, they see your shirt. Where can they get your shirt? Where they can buy your stuff? Where can they find their music? Like, where do they go to find everything Struck Down?
If you're a Spotify listener, it's all on there. Absolutely everything's on there. All of the merch is on there. All of our gigs are on there. That's our funnel. If you're not a Spotify listener, find our link tree. Go to our Instagram. Go to our TikTok. Absolutely everything can be found on our link tree, all in our bio. If you want to just listen to our stuff, we're everywhere. Absolutely all streaming platforms. If you want to see our faces, we're on YouTube. If you don't like our faces, you can listen to us just on the streaming platform. It's absolutely fine. Just come and tell us. Come and tell us if you're listening to us wherever you are. Like, if it's Amazon Music, if it's Apple Music, if it's just on YouTube. We want to have a conversation with you. We want to see what you think. And ultimately, we just want to welcome you in.
Yeah, we also have we have a Discord as well, which you can find in our link tree as well. That's something that Tommy and I are big advocates of Discord anyway. Yeah, we use it to talk to our friends and game as well. So it's natural for us. And we also have a newsletter as well, which we've recently implemented, and that you basically get exclusive scoops before anyone else knows. and you get bonuses by being in it as well. Like we were giving away like a free download of like an old track which we remastered, and like you get discount codes and that sort of thing. So it's to bring people in, and you get that every Friday. That'll drop into your inbox, and I like seeing that every Friday morning on my way to work. I get to see Pete's very well written newsletter.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I got Pete's email this morning. I got it, and it was like, hell yeah.
Good.
Listen, I've been listening to One Last Drag. I mean, the whole time over here, on my drive over here, it was just banging that thing. So definitely being on the mailing list is awesome. Please check you guys out. Go on the website, go check out all their music. They're so awesome. Tommy, Ian, it's been a pleasure, guys. You guys are so awesome. Thank you for what you're doing. Thank you for being such awesome advocates and highlighting a lot of these mental health things that, a lot of people are, can't. So thanks for what you're doing. Keep on awesome. Thanks for joining us on Beyond the Pit.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Cool. Now we have links to Struck Down's music pages on rockmental.com. Please give them a follow. Please give them a listen, especially their latest song, One Last Drag.
Like we mentioned before, you can find all this and all of our Beyond the Pit interviews on the official Rock Mental YouTube channel and on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Music. Chaotic?
All right, thanks for joining us for today's edition of Beyond the Pit. Join us next time as we talk to another band based in Europe that we're really excited about. We'll give you a heads up, but only if you follow us on social media at Rock Mental Official on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. All right, Chaotic out.